In this video, I'm revealing the one thing that's holding back talented football players from landing the scholarship offers they actually want, and it's not their huddle film, their stats, or how many Twitter DMs they've sent. And stick around till the end, and I'll share the unique approach that's worked for hundreds of my athletes. So if you're a talented high school football player, but you're looking to get a hell of a lot faster so you can actually land scholarship offers, then this is for you. And if you've tried group in-person training, but you think there might be a way to work smarter, not harder to get there, then keep watching. I've trained over 600 athletes in the last 3 years, and I've helped my athletes drop their 40-yard dash time to land hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarship money. And this video and all the content that I share right here on my YouTube and over on my Instagram is me passing down the lessons of what we've learned and what's worked for us, so you can increase your chances of running a 4.40 and landing scholarship offers, which only 3% of high school football players do. So you're watching this because you've probably already had some on-field success, and maybe you're all conference, all region, or all state, but you're not getting the attention and offers that you want. And it's a pretty shitty feeling because you're talented and you have the football skills. And in this new age of recruiting, you've seen less talented players go on visits and get offered, but coaches' DMs and replies are filled with huddle films of other desperate players. So that means even if you did rush for 2,000 yards or you have a great film, 99% of coaches aren't even going to see it. And therefore, camps are the only guaranteed way for coaches to evaluate you in person, but right now, you're just a number on a clipboard. And your current 40 time, broad jump, and shuttle don't do the justice of showcasing the player that you really are. And those numbers are holding you back from the offers that you want at camp. So you leave camps with only a t-shirt to show for it, and you're left wondering why you even drove all that way for the camp. And the reason is you're stuck in a speed trap, and you've been lied to by everyone. You've heard lift more often, work out every day, just ball out on Friday nights, just run sprints. You don't need to worry about offers until senior year. Lift heavier weight. Don't run your muscle off. And I'm going to pull back the curtain and expose the truth behind all this and the real reason why it seems so much harder to progress now than it did when you were a freshman, and why you're feeling stuck at your current 40 time no matter what you do or how hard you work. So let's go back in time. You had just started group training with a well-known coach or trainer in your area, or you just started lifting weights with your team. And when you first started, you got more attention from your coaches, and after just a couple of weeks of hard work, you saw noticeable changes in your strength, size, and explosiveness. But now that you're more experienced, you're expected to lead yourself and your teammates, and now your coaches and trainers have become more complacent with actually giving you the one-on-one attention you need to break out of the speed plateau. And now you're still doing the same old cookie-cutter exercises and programs that you've been doing for the last couple years, and it's the exact same program as everyone else. So you're not sure how you could actually be the best and stand out when your workouts make you blend in with everyone else. And not to mention, your coaches and your current program don't focus on speed, and they'd rather have you grind away in the weight room every single day. And you know that just by being a musclehead won't make you a better player or help you go D1. And you have weaknesses in your first step, your acceleration, and your top end speed that aren't being addressed just by squatting an extra 100 pounds. And your coaches haven't ran a sprint in the last 15 years or even know how to train for elite speed. And they think the answer for you is going 100 times harder in the weight room. But college coaches don't recruit you just because you squat 500 or bench 315. Sure, it looks cool, but if college coaches actually cared about weight room numbers, Sam Sulek and every other gym bro would have Power 4 offers. And I'm sure you know tons of yoked guys that are slow as shit, and college coaches don't even give them a second thought. However, what coaches actually measure you on are tested at every camp, combine, and showcase across the country, and they're drills that actually translate to the field. They test your acceleration, your top end speed, your change of direction, your explosiveness, your power, and your body control, which are all important for football. And maybe you test these once a year with your team, but your coaches don't know how to actually master them or teach you the best way to do them. So these drills, right? The 40-yard dash, the 10-yard split, the broad jump, the 5-10-5 shuttle, and the L drill. We call these the money makers. At the NFL Combine, the difference in one step, 1/2 second, or 1 inch could be the difference between going in the first round and going in the fourth round. And that's millions of dollars. And at college camps, for you, it's the same exact thing. A couple inches or a couple tenths of seconds could be the difference between getting offered a full ride with NIL or just being a walk-on. And that's a lot of money. So we call these drills the money makers, because at off-season camps, your stats from last season can't save you, your huddle highlights can't save you, and your Twitter DMs can't save you. Your only choice is to master the money makers, so college coaches have no choice but to hand over their scholarship offers. And you know, if you stay stuck in the 4.8s or worse, then college coaches will skip right over you for the recruit who runs a blazing 40 time. And right now, you're mad frustrated because what you've tried just hasn't improved your on-field testing numbers, and you're not even sure where to start. So I'll tell you a quick story and share the number one lesson that I've learned after training over 500 athletes in person and dozens more online. I started out by training a ton of football players in person in group settings like you've probably tried, and I did it at both private facilities for individuals and at schools for entire teams. So yeah, it was cool to say I was training hundreds of athletes with my own business, but the most talented, hardworking players were actually staying the same or getting worse, while the beginners, those just starting out, were able to progress rapidly. So I got thinking, and the answer really pissed me off. I realized that everything in life is catered to the beginners. You've probably sat in school reviewing the same concepts over and over again, wondering why are we going over this again? The smartest students have to learn amongst the idiots and actually sink down to their level. The teacher can't bring the idiots up to the geniuses' level. When you're in a group, everyone is naturally taught to gravitate towards the middle, towards average. And group systems are built for the weak and average. If teachers, trainers, and coaches only focused on the best, then the bottom 75% would quit and drop out, meaning that schools would fail, teams would lose, and trainers would go out of business. And group training is actually holding back those who have big-time dreams for themselves. So after 2 years and 500 athletes of group in-person training, I realized the kids who were like me, the talented, hardworking players who wanted to play at an elite level so they can earn scholarship offers, they needed a different approach, an approach that didn't include adding any more weight room sessions and would actually translate to achieving their best moneymaker numbers ever. So I started putting in extra hours, assigning custom programs and workouts my in-person athletes could do on their own, 100% online. They could get in their custom work around their schedule as long as they had an internet connection, even with baseball, track, basketball, 7-on-7, church, or whatever else they had pop up in their schedule. They'd upload videos of them doing each assigned drill, and I could review it in slow motion as many times as I needed, so I could actually evaluate and address their mistakes in their mechanics and their technique, and then I could prescribe targeted exercises to attack each weakness. For example, one of my athletes struggled with his first step, so I programmed in kneeling starts so he could build first step power from the ground up. One of my athletes struggled with his acceleration and dry phase, so I programmed in resisted starts so he could develop acceleration and raw power. One of my athletes struggled with his top end speed. He was getting caught on long runs and couldn't create separation, so I prescribed the 2015-10 drill to perfect his top end speed mechanics. And the biggest problem with group training is that you have no idea if the drills you're doing are actually addressing your weaknesses, and a coach can't watch you for every single rep to make sure you're actually improving. And your body is like a race car. If the wheels are misaligned or a piston is out of place, then you need to fix the problem before you try to go 200 miles an hour, or else you're going to end up wrecked on the side of the road. And mastering your technique is aligning the wheels, and addressing your weaknesses is putting the pistons back into their proper place. And I've worked alongside and trained with D1 and NFL players and got trained by an NFL combine coach. So I know the exact strategies and systems they used to have their players run their fastest 40 time ever in such a short period of time without risking injury or overworking themselves. And I've implemented these same strategies with my one-on-one online athletes to help them run their best 40 time of their career. And I've realized that one-on-one training is required if you're actually looking to play at an elite level. But in-person one-on-one, you'll pay $100 a session. If you do 4 times a week, that's almost $1,700 a month. So instead, I launched Scholarship Speed, an online one-on-one training system that compares to an NFL Combine prep program, so talented players all over the country can get elite coaching and elite results. And this is exactly how I helped my athlete advance, go from a 4.97 40 to a 4.66 in just 4 weeks, which was 100% online, so that he could stand out at D1 camps as a rising junior. This is our guy Vance, going to 3 different D1 camps where the coaches knew who he was and he could show his ability and his testing numbers that he was confident in. He had tried group training, and that helped him start on varsity as a sophomore and get to a 4.9 40-yard dash time, but he knew he needed something different to take the next step and actually stand out. So first, we identified his goal numbers and locked in his mindset around his inputs. Then I identified where he was actually losing time, like poor sprint posture and weak stride efficiency, because we knew what to improve on and why it was happening, and I knew how to fix it and which drills would work and which drills would be a waste of time and effort for him. And he cut 0.31 off his 40 time after 1 month. He says he has contact days with his team, and he was doing conditioning and flying past everyone, finished first basically every time during his sprint reps. And this is a D2 coach that he's talking with. They're talking about bringing him down for a private junior day so he can do both visit the school and do the camp all in the same weekend, saving his family time and money. This is our guy Caleb. Went to a camp, posted a 4.46. There he is with the Houston coach after camp. All right, he says he's been in contact with SMU and TCU. He took a visit out to TCU. He's keeping in contact so he can earn an offer. And this is all because he gained the ability and he gained the elite speed to actually stand out at camps and on Friday nights. Here's Matthew. He just hit 10 feet on his broad jump, and then he took 2 D1 FCS visits to some top programs, NDSU and North Dakota. This is our guy Caleb Bailey, landed multiple SEC offers. If being an exceptional athlete is important for an offensive lineman, and that's important to SEC coaches, then you have to imagine it's probably going to be important for literally everyone else that's on the field. This is our guy Justin. He goes to a larger high school in Texas, so he had a pretty solid team strength program, but he needed one-on-one help in his 40 time and his testing drills. He came to us during his track season because he needed to prepare for off-season camps without overworking himself. And as you see here, his first rep with us, he ran about a 7.10 in his L drill, but he was making a couple key mistakes in his first transition, so we got those fixed for him. And just from that alone, he was able to cut more than 0.4 off of his time, and a 6.73 that would have ranked as the 4th best L drill at the NFL Combine last year. And then 2 days later, he goes and runs an 11.06 in the 100-meter dash for his track team. It's not about loading up unnecessary work or time in the gym. Instead, we identified his weaknesses and mistakes, then we fixed his technique and his mechanics, and we prescribed targeted drills to attack those weaknesses, and then progressing and adjusting to avoid the dreaded speed plateau. Here's our guy Tim, landing a $92,000 scholarship, and then a couple days later, landing a $29,000 a year scholarship, which is well over $100,000 scholarship total. For all of these guys, they hadn't tried one-on-one online training before or really even heard of it, so it was brand new to all of them. And before I started working with them, they thought online training was just an app or a video library full of pointless drills that I assigned. But that's obviously not how it works. And now they have opportunities to play at an elite level while earning their degree for free. But it started with them drawing a line in the sand and not settling for what's familiar or the safe bet. So here's a quick live look-in on what inside of the program actually looks like. So here's the live look-in. This is how we've been able to utilize online training to help our athletes drop their 40-yard dash and ultimately go play in college. So day 1 in the program, you're going to get access to some videos to watch and some action items to complete. Fill out the welcome form so we can identify where you're currently at and how we can best serve you. And the biggest step of the introduction process is completing the movement screening. So I lead you through 5 specific drills: the 40-yard dash, the 10-yard split, the broad jump, the L drill, and the shuttle. The 5 drills that are tested most often at these college camps, I'm going to take you through and establish your baseline. Here's an example of one of our guys completing each drill and uploading his videos to a Google Drive folder where then I can go through, coach him up, and review his technique for each drill that he does. So here's our guy Mason. You just saw his videos in Google Drive. I'm able to come in here, coach him up through each thing, put these videos in slow motion, draw on them, do whatever I have to do to actually find out where he's losing time in each drill. After that, I can send the videos on over. He can watch them to get his feedback. So obviously these videos are very valuable because it's all one-to-one coaching, which is way more attention than you'd ever receive in your group training session. And a lot of these guys like to go back and watch the videos more than once if they have to, so they can really soak in all the information, all the coaching, and then go and apply it in their next session. Then after the movement screening, I take all that information from your baseline and from your welcome form and start to craft your custom program for you while you go through the mindset section. And then we rendezvous on a one-to-one Zoom call where I give you your custom program, make sure all your questions are answered, and you're 100% confident in what it is you have to do. And then obviously each one of these exercises in the program has a linked video coaching you through exactly what to do to make sure that you see success and you see progress. Throughout the program, you have to send in videos so that you can stay on track and I can hold you accountable to the program. After the 10 weeks is up, then we can compare where you were during your baseline in week 1, and we can compare it to your week 10 numbers and see that big increase, that big improvement in all your testing numbers. So like you just saw, the Scholarship Speed System, it's a personalized training program to fit your goals, to prepare you for camps and combines, and to help you dominate your opponents on Friday nights. There's technique breakdowns, daily video check-ins and review, there's progress tracking, and there's one-on-one coaching. This is a look at a personalized program like you just saw, and then an example of a demo video breaking down the little techniques that are going to separate you from everyone else, and then the one-on-one coaching, breaking down your technique, your video, putting it in slow motion, drawing on it so you know what you did well, what you can improve on, and what we need to change. This has honestly been the biggest difference for our guys, Justin here, and then Vance as well. And if you want to learn how you can do this, if you're a talented football player and you've already had some on-field success, but your 40 time and other testing numbers are holding you back from offers, but you want to run your best 40 time of your career this offseason, then book a strategy session Zoom call with me or my team below. The Zoom call is free. We'll talk through your situation and see if you're a good fit for my paid one-to-one program. This isn't for you if you've never lifted weights before or ran a sprint, if you have really no football talent, or you won't be attending a college camp, combine, or showcase in the next 8 months. If you're not starting on your current team, or if your family's living paycheck to paycheck and can't invest in you going to camps, or you miss workouts or class, you're probably not going to succeed in our program, and you're probably not going to succeed in college football. And because it's a one-on-one program, I'm only working with a maximum of 25 athletes this offseason. So if you want to be one of the 25 with an unfair advantage this offseason, go and book a strategy session call below. The call, like I said, is a true strategy session to determine, 1, if you're a good fit, 2, if we can even help you out, and if we can, then what your custom game plan might look like, and if it actually makes sense to partner up. It's what helped Caleb go to some D1 camps, ball out, get noticed, and be put on the path to his first Power 4 offer. And then our guy Josh here landing multiple offers, taking his visits, and finding a school that ultimately felt like home, which is what it's all about. You will need your parents or financially responsible guardians on the Zoom call just so they can ask any questions that they have, and we can get you started right there on that call if we are a good fit. So find a time with your parents and book in your strategy session, and I'll see you on the other side.